What if you are not whole? What if the strange emptiness you sometimes feel, the aching gaps in your memory, your inexplicable fears, your sudden surges of emotion, aren't random at all, but evidence of something deeper, something lost? Across dimensions of time, space, and consciousness, could parts of your very soul be scattered, lingering in forgotten lifetimes or trapped in unresolved moments of trauma? This isn't fantasy. This is an ancient truth whispered by shamans, mystics, and sages across the ages. Your soul can fragment, and those fragments, those echoes of you, may still be waiting to return. Welcome to Esoteric Glyph. In this episode, we unveil one of the most mysterious and rarely spoken truths of spiritual existence: soul fragmentation. This concept isn't just poetic. It's a powerful metaphysical reality rooted in indigenous wisdom, esoteric traditions, and modern metaphysical psychology. You'll discover why some people feel perpetually incomplete, haunted by something they can't name. You'll learn how powerful experiences, trauma, heartbreak, betrayal, can fracture the soul like shattered glass. And more importantly, we'll reveal how these fragments may be calling out to you, and how you can call them back. We'll journey through the lost teachings of the ancients, from Siberian shamans and Egyptian mystics to the Hermetic view of the soul's multidimensionality, and see how modern quantum consciousness theory now echoes what was once thought to be myth. Could the real reason for your spiritual exhaustion or emotional disconnection be the result of unhealed soul loss? Stay with us as we explore the hidden architecture of your spirit, and perhaps guide you to the long-lost parts of yourself. This is not just a video. It's a ritual of remembrance, a retrieval of what you once were. Long before psychology gave us terms like dissociation or trauma response, ancient cultures spoke of something more elusive, yet profoundly real: soul loss. In the sacred traditions of the Siberian shamans, illness wasn't merely physical, it was spiritual. When someone endured a severe shock, a deep heartbreak, or an act of violence, the shamans believed a piece of the soul could leave the body to escape the pain. They called this soul flight and healing. It wasn't just medicine. It was the art of soul retrieval, a journey into otherworldly realms to bring the lost fragment home. Across the oceans, the indigenous tribes of the Amazon, the Zulus of South Africa, and the Maori of New Zealand all carried similar beliefs. They understood that when the soul is fragmented, the human becomes vulnerable, open to disease, disconnection, and even spiritual possession. The cure wasn't external. It was internal, spiritual reintegration. Even the ancient Egyptians, with their vast knowledge of the afterlife and soul anatomy, divided the soul into multiple aspects: Ka, Ba, Ak, Ren, Shut. The Ba, often described as the personality or mobile aspect of the soul, could wander in dreams, or be fractured by traumatic death or dishonorable living. Their Book of the Dead was more than a funerary text. It was a manual for soul wholeness, guiding each aspect back to unity after death. In Hermetic philosophy, the soul is seen as eternal yet mutable, wrapped in layers of memory and identity gathered from countless incarnations. The soul's descent into the material world was believed to fragment its divine purity. This fragmentation, symbolized in alchemical allegory, reflects our need to purify, reunify, and ascend once more toward the One, the divine source. So why have these teachings been forgotten? Because in the rational age, we began to view the soul as metaphor rather than reality. The mystical became myth, the sacred superstition. And yet, deep within the human experience, the signs never disappeared. The inexplicable grief that lives inside those who never endured great loss. The voices in dreams that feel too familiar to be strangers. The patterns we repeat without knowing why, as if some unseen part of us is stuck, screaming to be remembered. These echoes are not madness. They are messages from your own missing pieces. Modern esoteric thinkers like Carl Jung hinted at this truth in his concept of the shadow, aspects of the self exiled from consciousness. He wrote of the anima and animus, the sacred inner opposites, often suppressed and dismembered by society's norms. But the ancients saw even further. They knew the soul is not static. It is multidimensional, scattered across lives and planes, waiting for the seeker, the healer, to gather the lost sparks and become whole again. This isn't just philosophy. It's a map, and it leads inward, To understand soul fragmentation, we must first abandon the idea that the soul is a singular, unbreakable monolith. Think of your soul not as a single light bulb, but as a constellation of stars, each point holding a part of your essence, a memory, a feeling, a truth. When we go through intense emotional trauma, profound grief, or moments of deep fear, some of these lights dim or flicker out, not because they cease to exist, but because they withdraw, retreating to a safer plane of being. This is soul fragmentation. It's not just symbolic, it is energetic. Imagine a child enduring abandonment. That moment, so overwhelming, so beyond their emotional capacity, becomes frozen in time. A piece of their soul, unable to withstand the pain, separates. It doesn't die. It hides, locked in a time loop, waiting for the one who left it behind to return. This is why some adults walk through life feeling incomplete, haunted by emotions that don't match their current reality, reliving traumas as if they just happened. Because, in the soul's dimension, they are still happening. In the shamanic worldview, the soul doesn't follow the laws of time. Fragmented pieces can be lost not just in the past of this life, but in other lives, in alternate realms, even in ancestral lines. This is why some people feel drawn to eras or cultures they've never studied, or carry phobias and pains with no origin. These are the fingerprints of fragmented experiences echoing across incarnations. The soul, like a mirror, can shatter, and yet every shard still reflects the whole. When we talk about healing trauma, we often speak of integration. But in spiritual terms, integration is more than psychological recovery. It is the alchemy of wholeness. A soul retrieval isn't just an emotional process. It's metaphysical surgery. The healer, often through guided trance, dream work, or ritual, travels through the veil, finds the missing fragment, and brings it back. Sometimes with messages, gifts, or insights. Some fragments return willingly. Others are guarded, by fear, by ego, or by spiritual entities that feed off unresolved pain. But why does the soul fragment at all? Because consciousness seeks survival. When pain becomes unbearable, the soul, being deeply intelligent, preserves itself through division. Much like a seed that splits open before it can grow, a soul in pain splits to preserve its essence. Yet every fragmentation creates a void. And in those voids, shadows grow. Unconscious behavior, addiction, sudden rage, or despair. These are not just mental phenomena. They may be the expression of exiled fragments crying out to be acknowledged, to be brought home. Understanding soul fragmentation shifts the question from what's wrong with me to what part of me has been left behind. It is a powerful, compassionate reframing of suffering, not as weakness, but as a spiritual breadcrumb, leading you to your forgotten self. The journey to wholeness is not about fixing yourself. It's about remembering yourself. And remembering takes practice. Here are ancient and modern ways to begin the process of soul retrieval. 1. Dream tracking. Your subconscious often reveals fragmented parts through recurring dreams, especially ones involving lost people, places, or identity shifts. Begin a dream journal. Pay attention to symbols. The part of you that speaks in dreams is often the part that is missing in waking life. 2. Guided trance and meditation. Using theta wave meditation or shamanic drumming, enter an altered state with the intention, show me the part of myself that I've lost. What arises may be subtle, a color, a sensation, a face. Follow it. Speak to it. Ask what it needs to return. 3. Mirror ritual, soul calling. Stand before a mirror, dim the lights, and softly chant your full name repeatedly. Gaze into your own eyes and say, I call back all parts of my soul from all times, all places, all dimensions. This ritual has been practiced in various forms by medicine people and mystics for generations. 4. Writing the forgotten. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Begin writing with this prompt, the part of me I lost when. Let the words flow without judgment. You might uncover a story you didn't know you were carrying, or that's been carrying you. 5. Spiritual therapy and energy healing. Find a practitioner who understands soul fragmentation, not just trauma. Reiki masters, intuitive healers, or certified soul retrieval shamans can often guide the process of reintegration and closure. But above all, practice gentleness. Soul fragments do not return through force. They return through safety, through resonance. When you begin to live in alignment with love, truth, and authenticity, the pieces recognize home. They come back, not as victims, but as teachers. As you retrieve fragments, you may cry without knowing why, or feel peace where pain once lived. Trust it. You're not breaking down. You're becoming whole. You came into this life whole, but somewhere along the journey, through heartbreak, fear, violence, or forgetting, pieces of your spirit took flight. They didn't leave because you were weak. They left because you are sacred, and sacred things protect themselves when wounded. But now you're remembering, and that changes everything. Because to walk the path of soul retrieval is to walk the path of the mystic, the one who refuses to live fragmented, the one who dares to reclaim their divine architecture. The truth is this: you are not broken. You are incomplete. And your healing is not about becoming someone new. It's about bringing every lost part of you home. So the next time you feel that emptiness, pause, listen. Somewhere, a younger version of you may be whispering your name, asking to be remembered. The journey of awakening isn't upward, it's inward. And as you gather your pieces, you'll realize you were never lost. You were always waiting to be found. Sparkles, if this journey stirred something within you, subscribe to Esoteric Glyph and walk with us through the hidden corridors of the soul. Share your reflections below. Your story may guide someone else to their own lost light. And remember, the path of the mystic doesn't end. It deepens. Thank you.